about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not really.
Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with a new recommendation video. I'm really excited. This is my favorite trope. This is like the baby trope of my other favorite trope. I just really love this. I love sunshine. I love grumpy. I love when grumpy one is like infected by sunshine one's joy and like love of life. It's just so good. It is like no joke. It is my favorite trope. I do think it's a trope we don't see enough of, female grumpy and male sunshine. It is the baby trope of morality chain for sure, which is like where they need another person to make them be good, which is like Lothair and Gressley Cole, and like serial killer books are morality chain for sure. Often, you know, like some of the bonkers setups tend to be a morality chain, and I just love it. I love it here. I love Grumpy Sunshine. It's the best. So on that, I want to give you some recs across the romance genre of Grumpy Sunshine books I personally love and think you should be reading. First of all, I have to mention, I feel like I mention her a lot, but she does it so well, and it's Lucy Parker and it's Pretty Face, which is my favorite one, I think, in this series of the London celebrities. This one follows our Marilyn Monroe-esque Broadway star who's like super sultry and curvy, and she just gets boxed into a corner all the time as being like the sex pot and all that, and she's pretty sunshiny, and in comes Luke Savage, this grumpy director who thinks that her name's Lily, is just not that good of an actress maybe, and maybe her talents lie on the casting couch. And he's basically like bad-tempered and very bossy. And then it turns out he has it real bad for her, and there's just that delightful Grumpy Sunshine mix. But you know, also there's a lot of reputations on the line, etc. This one, just for me, honestly, it's fresh, like it's different. Lily is just so good. I love when we have a heroine who's like being put in a corner about one thing, and instead of like rolling over and just being like, fine, this is what I am, she's like, no, I can do this. I can do serious roles. I don't always have to be the sexy dumb one. Like, that's not who I am necessarily, and like I shouldn't be put in this corner. And it's just like, it's so good, y'all. It's so good. I actually might reread it soon because I really love this book. The other one I have to recommend, which is just like a general author rec maybe, is Grumpy Fake Boyfriend, but also just Jackie Lau in general really does a lot of Grumpy Sunshine tropes. So we have Grumpy Fake Boyfriend, we have, or His Grumpy Childhood Friend we have by her as well, where we have a lady Grumpy, and that is on my Kindle to read, and I cannot wait. But Grumpy Fake Boyfriend, really, this is Jackie Lau's debut, so do know going in like it's a little rough, but I really had fun with it because not only was it that, but it was also best friend's older brother's best friend, and he's like this grumpy novelist who just wants to be left alone, and she drags him on this trip and they end up falling in love. And I love that setup, obviously, and it like combines the older brother's best friend trope in a really fun way, and he was a different kind of grumpy hero, so I really loved that about him. Like, he was very focused on like his writing and general nerdery interests, and I just really enjoyed that about him. And obviously going on a couple's getaway with his best friend's baby sister is not necessarily ideal, but it turned out really fun and adorable. Next, we have The Duchess Deal by Tessa Dare, which of course this is going to be on this list because this is one of those historicals that you could definitely start the genre in, and it really features the best mix of grumpy, which is a scarred duke, which is the Duke of Ashbury. He has injuries from war, and his fiance calls it off, so our heroine, what is her name, Emma, shows up in this wedding dress that his ex-fiance commissioned or had made, and is like, you have to pay for this dress. And he says, I'll do you one better, I'll marry you. So they get married, and there are rules, Oh, I love it when there are rules, especially with grumpy ones. Like, the rules are the best. So the rules are like no kissing. They will only be husband and wife by night. And then once she's pregnant, they're done. Like, they don't have to share a bed again or do anything. She just has to get pregnant and have the baby. And then of course, she has some rules of her own, and it's just a full-on unraveling of a grumpy character because Sunshine is there to change the day, and I love it so much. If you haven't read Duchess Deal by Tessa Dare yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but you need to get on it. Next, we have my traveling books. I don't actually have my physical copy to show you. I have friends reading it right now and annotating it as it journeys across the country, and I'm just so excited to get it back at some point, which is Managed by Kristen Callahan. Y'all, Scotty. Oh, I will never shut up about Scotty. So I've talked about it before, I don't love rockstar romances necessarily. I will read them, it just depends. And I don't love slow burn, but this is definitely a slow burn that is worth it. Worth it. This is just my favorite. When I reread it recently, I was just like, oh, I love this. Like, the whole time I was just like, I love this book. I love this freaking book. I cannot get over this book. I mean, I have 40 highlights on this book, y'all. Like, it's bad. I am hard eyes over the moon for Scotty. And then we have Sophie, our heroine, who is like a social media expert, and she's coming to London, ends up getting put in the seat booked next to Scotty that is always like, he always books 2 seats, and they gave her his seat, like the attendant who booked his flight across the pond, because he hates flying. So he likes to be by himself and like closed off and just like get there and whatever to ignore the flight. So she ends up distracting him on the flight, and it's so cute, and he calls her chatty girl because she doesn't stop talking. And it's just, you get to see him, like, he's so uptight and so like buttoned up, and you just see him like slowly unraveling because of her. And she is it's a very witty and banterful book, and you're just like, oh my god, Scotty. You just slowly see him unraveling. Turns into an I can't sleep without you situation. So they're like sleeping together in bed, and it just goes from there. And oh my gosh, y'all, if you haven't read Managed yet by Kristen Callahan, get on it immediately, please and thank you. And then I have another one that is definitely a heavy Grumpy Sunshine situation. It also features age gap and is a little taboo, and that is Just Like That by Cole McCade. This is a Men Loving Men romance about Summer Hemlock and Fox, Isaiah. Fox is a professor at the school that Summer went to as a teen, and he is just forbidding, like aloof, commanding is what they describe him as. And Summer is like very shy and anxious. This book delivers so much. So much, y'all. Fox is like a widow, and he's been like mourning and figuring that out. And Summer just kind of comes in to like turn his world upside down a little bit, but it's also like very slow and soft. But basically, like, they start a game where Summer gets kisses when he does things, and it's very, very cute, very, very fun. And I need to read the other book in this series. I really liked this whole freaking bunch. So if you want Men Loving Men, Grumpy Sunshine, you got it. So A Beastly Kind of Earl is our next one. Of course, Beauty and the Beast always falls into this trope, I feel like, but this one is about Thea Knight, who's masquerading as her sister, and then she is found out by the Lord Luxembourg, who is like scarred and badly tempered, all the good things. Basically, he needs to marry to receive a sum of money, and she has to figure out how to handle the fact that like that's not her name on the marriage certificate, and how they can make that work. And he does find out she's using a false name, and they still get married. It's a whole situation. It's also like a gothic-y romance more, but it's just so fun. Honestly, I need to read more Mia Vinci. This was a total blast. Highly, highly recommend if you have not checked her out yet. Also on KU. And then my last recommendation is a cinnamon roll hero with aka like sunshine hero with a grumpy heroine. This is one that you may not love, and I think if you don't love this, still try another book by this author, because this is one of her first like indie debuts, and the new cover is stunning. And that is Teach Me by Olivia Dade. I've mentioned it in other recs before. This is two older main characters, both of which are teachers at the school. He's divorced and he's raising his teen daughter, and she is known as the ice queen at school. Like, she's super, not cruel, she's just cold to people. And a lot of that comes from trauma from her past marriage and what happened there. And she's a plus size heroine who is utterly delightful. I love her. And he is just super soft, sweet cinnamon roll. And it was just so cute. Like, it was such a good setup, and the way it worked out made sense. It's a very just sweet, small town, not overly dramatic in my opinion, or over the top in any way, but it really just like was cute. And the grovel, the big moment at the end to like get back together is a very, very sweet, and I really enjoyed it. I just felt like it worked, and she really needed that like sunshine injection from this cinnamon roll hero, which is definitely what you have here. And again, it was just fun to read about someone who was older finding love again, slash, you know, falling back in love after things happening in their life. So those are my favorite Grumpy Sunshines. If you made it this far, be sure to drop a sunshine emoji in the comments, because hello. And let me know your favorite Grumpy Sunshine books, or if you have a trope you want me to do a recommendation video for anytime soon. I'll have links to all the books I talked about in that description box for you, as well as links to anywhere you want to be my friend on social media. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed any of these recs or are gonna try them out. That's it. Alright, I will see y'all soon. Bye.
Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.